You cannot put together a good studio without headphones. But what do you need to know to choose the right pair for you?
Welcome to Sound Better Slider. Thing 1.
Consumer versus professional. Before we go into the specific topic of studio headphones, let's briefly look at the entire headphone landscape. Consumer headphones are meant for the general buying public. This includes pretty much anything that's Bluetooth-based or anything you can buy in a consumer electronics store. And while it's good to have a couple of these lying around for the occasional mixing or mastering reference, they're not going to be our main focus because they have less accurate sound characteristics. Professional headphones. First, we have in-ear monitors, or IEMs. These are small earbuds that go directly into your ear. They're great for live sound performance. On-the-ear headphones rest on the outer ear rather than covering it completely, and they're not usually as comfortable, especially for extended studio work, compared to our focus for today, over-the-ear headphones. These fully surround your ears and are the most common type for studio use. And so for the rest of this video, we're going to discuss the differences between over-the-ear wired studio headphones.
Thing 2.
Headphone type. There are 3 different styles or types of headphones that we're going to be dealing with in the studio. Let's start with closed back. For recording, closed back headphones are your best bet. They're going to trap sound inside the headphone because they're made of solid material on the outside of the ear cups. This is super important when you're working with a sensitive microphone like a condenser, and especially if you've gone to the trouble of creating a quiet, noise-isolated space to record in. You don't want the sound from the headphones to leak outward and get on your microphone. Open back headphones are the best type if you're mixing or mastering through headphones, because they allow air to pass through the ear cups, creating a more natural speaker-like sound. However, because of their openness, they leak sound, so don't bring them into the recording booth. If you're listening loudly, the other people in the room will probably be able to hear what you're working on as well. Semi-open back. This halfway design offers a balance between the natural sound of open back headphones and the isolation of closed back headphones. While not as specialized, they can be a good versatility option for a studio on a budget. I use them as a secondary reference when I'm using my open back headphones to let a client listen to headphones as well, and for the occasional mix checking.
Thing 3.
Frequency response. For studio work, you want headphones that are as flat and neutral as possible. The term flat refers to what it looks like when we plot all of human hearing on a graph from left to right and expect them all to be played back relatively evenly. That means no exaggerated bass, mid-range, or treble frequencies. True flatness is difficult to create, so we look for as close to flat as we can find.
Thing 4.
Comfort. How do they feel on your ears? Sound is important, but if you can't wear them for a long period of time, then you can't really work well in them for long sessions. Sometimes you can tell a headphone's going to be comfortable just by looking at it. Sometimes you can't, so check out reviews just in case. And remember, everyone's ear shape is a little different.
Thing 5.
Impedance measurement. Lower impedance headphones, under 50 ohms, can be powered by phones or laptops, while higher impedance headphones, such as 100 ohms and up, typically require an external amplifier to reach their full potential in volume. If you're using high impedance headphones, make sure your audio interface or dedicated headphone amp is powerful enough to drive them, or you might not be getting the best sound possible.
Thing 6.
Build quality. Headphones can get dropped, sat on, stepped on, and otherwise suffer unfortunate studio accidents. So overall, build quality of the headphone is something to consider. You may not always be able to determine this by reading the description alone, so search for reviews where long-term owners give their experience.
Thing 7.
Cable connection types. Fixed cables. These are permanently attached to the headphone. If this cable breaks, the entire headphone might be out of commission, which is why they're not my favorite type. Removable cables. With removable cables, you can easily replace them if they get damaged. Also, you can switch to different lengths and build qualities of cable. This adds a lot of flexibility, but they might fall out easier, like this. Some headphones come with proprietary cable, like these, where the unique connection to this brand plugs into this headphone. They lock into the headphone a bit more securely, but they do cost a bit more.
Thing 8.
Cable connector size. Most studio headphones come with either an 1/8 inch 3.5 millimeter or a 1/4 inch 6.35 millimeter connector. But you'll often need to switch between the two depending on your gear. That's why a lot of headphones include the 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch adapter. You'll want to keep some extras of these around because they're probably the most poorly built thing in the audio industry. They do go bad. You can even get proprietary adapters like this one that screws on. Here's a warning. If you find an 1/8 inch connector that has 3 rings on it, this is not the correct type of cable. We want the one with 2 rings. The 3-ring connector is meant for a headset with microphones like a gamer or professional phone speaker would use. Using a 3-ring plug in a standard headphone jack can even cause you some issues that you don't want to deal with.
Thing 9.
You can't forget about the price. You could spend anywhere from $20 to over $1,000 on a pair of studio headphones, but how much should you really invest and on which type of headphone should you invest it? Ask yourself which aspect of the production process is your studio involved with the most. Allocate the biggest budget you can for a studio headphone for that. So, for example, I'm involved with mixing and mastering the most, and I spend more time on my mixing and mastering open back headphones than I do on my closed back studio tracking pair of headphones. So I spend more on the open backs than I do on the closed backs. If it's the reverse for you and you're going to be doing mostly recording, then you should look for the nicest, most comfortable, best sounding pair of closed back headphones that you can.
Thing 10.
Correction software. Since almost no headphone design is actually perfectly flat for frequency response, there's different options for headphone correction software. This type of software corrects the frequency response of your headphones by applying an EQ that's like exactly the opposite of where your headphones are supposed to be, unfortunately dipping and spiking, so that we attempt to get a flat response. It's especially helpful if you're working in an untreated room. I utilize this type of software, but I alternate between using my headphones with and without it. And I also use studio monitors. But that's a topic for another video.
Please subscribe, it keeps the channel alive.
Like the video if your thumb's not too busy. And if you want to join my email list over here on my website, then
Sign up for the newsletter. It's not spam, it's way, way better.